family. Ride home with Auntie. How y'all doing? Child, I'm sweating. Now, I'm not sweating because it's super hot, but it is 87 degrees in January 31st in Arizona. I gotta love it. I gotta love it. I mean, we had like a week of cold weather. Now, it's supposed to get dropped back down. It's doing a little bit of that Atlanta bipolar stuff. Because later on this week it's going to rain, it's going to get a little chillier, it's going to be like 65 or something. And I will take it. I will take 65, honey. It beats 35. It beats 45. It beats 55, okay? So, I'll be thankful for that. But yes. It is warm. I'm looking at the degrees on my in my car, so that it could be how the degrees that I test from what my car is. But whatever, we ain't come to talk about me and my car and it being hot here, okay? That's not what we came to do. We came to talk about whatever's hot today. So, well, I guess so. I told whatever's hot in Arizona, 87, and I love it. Anyway, today was a pretty good day. It was really productive for me. Like, I was busy but productive. I just saw one of my co-workers. I ain't try to hit him. But yeah, it was a productive day. I finished earlier than on time, but it's been, when you're working in the business office of a dealership, or any business office, end of the year stuff is just a whole headache, yo. Even though I am not directly affected because I'm not that high up. I'm the receptionist that do a little bookkeeping. Okay, that's what I do. Okay, I do a little bookkeeping, a little deposits. I'm no big deal there. But just to see my boss or I'm from the old school. We call our managers bosses, okay? My boss, and just to see just how they're running around and trying to get everything done. Those that's hired, you know what I'm saying? It's like, part of me want to help, you know what I'm saying? The other part is like, ain't none of my business. Ain't none of my business. Ain't none of my business, okay? But either way, it's neither here nor there, but it's just a very busy time because it's not only the first of the month or the end of the month for us where we have to wrap everything up for the month, but we're still dealing with the beginning of the year stuff, taxes and all that stuff and audits, and it's just it gives that energy of stress and whatever, and I'm really over it, to be honest with you. Let's get back to basics. And then in this, we had two people. Well, I can't really say that. Okay, but we are having people in the midst of all this craziness. We're having to hire people who quite don't. Yeah. Anyway, I don't even want to go in there because I don't want to violate any type of HIPAA or anything. So, and I'm kind of, you wouldn't think, because I be naming names up in here because they're part of the story, you know what I'm saying? But I just, my spirit is like, don't talk about it. So I'm just going to leave it there. It's just crazy because of the end of the year, beginning of the year, tax season, a whole thing. So it's crazy up in there. But let me tell you, I'm not going to name drop, but there is a young person that we sent to the post office. And this is how I felt more like an auntie today than I ever did. A young man, maybe in his early 20s, probably in his early 20s. Let's be honest with you. We sent them to him to the post office to have some mail postmarked. And I specifically told him postmark the mail. Have this posted. You need to have them put the stamp on it. Them put the stamp on it. Maybe I should have clarified exactly what we needed to do. But because I'm from the old school, when I hear postmark, if someone hands me mail that doesn't already have a stamp on it, I know to go to the counter and have them run it through the stamp machine and postmark it. That way, not give me some stamps and then put them in the mailbox. And this young man did all he went and got stamps and dropped them off at the mail and I think he may have put it in the slot and not given it to the clerk, because if you go there with no stamps, you go to the clerk, you stand in that line, go to the clerk and have them run these through. They know what you're talking about. They're not going to give you a book of stamps unless it is government now. Now, let me tell you, I grew up in Washington, D.C. area. That's big federal government energy. Okay, so those government workers ain't going to give you no more or no less than what you asked for. Unless you got a newbie, someone just happy to be here, type of person who love their job to be a post office employee. But most of them will, depending on the mood they in, depending on the mood they are in, they may say, baby, what do you need? I need to get stamps on these. Okay, and if he said I needed stamps, then they probably gave him exactly what he asked for. But if he went to the machine and got those stamps and he got a receipt and then dropped it in the mail slot, I'm praying that they postmark those envelopes, because this needed to be postmarked today, okay, for end of the year, end of the month things. But what made me feel like an auntie the most is I knew that without having to be told specifically how to do it. And I was talking to another coworker about it, because I had to break it to my boss that this is what happened. Amongst all the craziness that she's dealing with, I had to drop that on them. And it's like, I didn't know. I just kind of assumed. I mean, like I told him postman, to postmark it and all that. But he didn't know. And he didn't know. And it's like the worst thing right now. But, okay, so just comparing it. Earlier this week, we did the same thing because, of course, we're sending out mail and checks and stuff like that. And it was an older person that we sent to the post office, and he knew exactly what we needed. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, these young people don't know about standing in line at the post office, and when we say postmarking stuff, they don't know. They send emails, text messages, DM people. If we asked him to DM all these people this stuff, he'd have been able to do it with accuracy and efficiency. But, I forgot. I was of the age where we actually had pen pals. You know what I'm saying? And we sent mail, or we had to have something postmarked in order to have a bill paid and say, look, I sent this off on this day. You know what I'm saying? So these young people don't. The other time I felt the most like an auntie or an old person, okay, is when I realized that my son did not know how to write a check or a money order. I said, son, I failed you. Okay. But he does now, but it's all good. So I'm coming to the end of this 10 minutes. I'll talk to y'all later, see what happens tomorrow. What's going to drop, because I did want to talk to you about something, but that was on my mind today.